Okay. Hey, so today I want to talk about something that is the feeling of your desire, whatever you want, being fulfilled. Because I think that this is another thing that trips us up when we want something. Because there are so many approaches when you think about law of attraction, there are so many approaches to getting yourself to feel like you can get the thing that you want. Getting yourself to believe in the thing that you want. And I still feel like it trips people up and it trips myself up too. So I just want to analyze that feeling. So when that thing that you want, whatever it is, when that comes in my experience, it always seems to feel like it's just normal. Like it's just a normal day. It doesn't feel like miracles. It doesn't feel like, oh my God, suddenly it's sunshine and rainbows and I don't know what else. Now that this thing has happened, or now that this person is here, or whatever. Even if you wanted it for a long time, when it happens, finally, it doesn't feel that way. It just feels like, oh, there it is. Oh, there you are. And I'm not saying you're not going to feel happy or joyful, or you're not going to want to, I guess, celebrate it yourself in your own mind. You do still feel that way, but it's just not such a high intensity feeling. It's more subtle. It's more calm. It's not like this, energetically. It's like this. You feel like this. No matter what it is. And when you think about something you want, like if I were to ask you right now, think about something that you really want. Something that hasn't manifested yet. What does it feel like right now? And you have to be honest about this. You don't have to tell me, you don't have to comment under this video. You can if you want to. But just be honest with yourself. What does it feel like right now? This desire. Does it feel like complete insanity? Does it feel crazy? Does it feel like it would be an unbelievable thing if it happened? If I were to ask you, if this thing that you want happened right now, like right at this very moment, how would you feel? What do you think would be your emotional response to seeing that thing come in right now? What does it feel like? And if it doesn't feel like, oh, there it is. If it doesn't feel like it, that makes sense. If it doesn't feel like, yeah, that's a normal thing to happen. Like, yes, I'm happy about this and everything, and yeah, it's finally here, but it just sort of feels normal. If it doesn't feel like that, then you still have some work to do. You are still kind of too far apart from it emotionally. You're still like your emotional state still doesn't really match that thing. Because, I know like a lot of people want to manifest like specific people and stuff, and I have wanted that too, and I have done it in the past, and it has happened. Like a person came in, right? And it's just, when they come in, it feels so normal. Like no matter what it is, if it is a person or circumstance or an opportunity, whatever it is that you want, it just, when it happens, when it finally happens, it just feels normal. Yes, you feel happy and joyful and everything, but it doesn't feel like the feeling is so intense I can't even contain myself. Doesn't feel like that. It's just a normal day. So, in order to get to what you want, you need to find some way in your own brain. And you do this with practice. You do this through working with limiting beliefs. I have videos about that on my other channel that you could check out if you wanted to see how I work with them. But you have to work through this limiting belief, because thinking that something is unbelievable or crazy, that's also a limiting belief. It's still something that keeps you apart from what you want. You know, my favorite manifestation teacher, Abraham Hicks, they have something called, it's not really a process, but they talk about something called the next logical step. And what they mean with that is that your desire, in order to come in, it needs to feel like the next logical thing that could happen in your life experience. The next logical thing. Like, for example, there's a manifestation happening right now. I am filming this video. I'm recording it. What is the next logical thing to happen regarding this? Me editing this video. Because, you know, I have to put the audio from this microphone onto this video. So in that sense, I will edit it. But otherwise, I won't. And then me uploading this video. That's the next logical thing that would happen. That doesn't feel like, oh my God, it's a miracle that I'm doing this right now. You get it? Like, it's just logical that I would be doing this right now, considering what I'm doing right now. It's the next logical step. It's the next logical thing that would happen in my life right now. If your desire doesn't feel like that, then you're still kind of apart from it. It needs to feel like if this were to come in right now, you wouldn't even be that surprised about it. And you know, if you practice these things, you practice the law of attraction and everything, and then you're getting something, you're actually getting your desire, it should feel like, yeah, you know, this is what I was doing with my emotional state. This is where I got to with it. And I wasn't bullshitting what my emotional state is. I wasn't, you know, lying to myself about what it is. And then that thing came in. You just feel like, yeah, that's a logical thing that would happen. It's such an interesting thing. Like, I was thinking earlier about, you know, how people often say when something like that, their desire comes in, they often say things like, you know, it was so unbelievable or it was crazy, and I'm at fault for this too. When I talk about these things, I have been saying that. It's actually not a great practice for me to be in. But the reason I say these things is because I know that the viewer watching that video where I'm talking about this, whatever happened, right? Whatever manifestation I'm talking about, especially if it's like a big thing, they are probably going to think, oh yeah, you know, that's so crazy that happened to that person. That's so crazy that happened to me. I'm thinking of it like from their perspective. But if I were to like be completely honest with you, while this was happening in my life experience, like while this was actually manifested, actually unfolding, it didn't feel crazy. It didn't feel like, oh my God, this is some miracle. Something out of the ordinary is happening right now. Yeah, I could think it in my head if I wanted to. I could have a thought, yeah, this is kind of crazy that this is happening. But my feeling inside was still like, yeah, considering what I have been doing and considering what I have been feeling and considering that I have been making myself a vibrational match to this desire, considering the fact that I have been creating this emotional environment inside me, and now this thing is unfolding, considering all of that, it doesn't feel crazy. It just feels normal. Just feels like a match to what I have been doing. So sometimes you will see people like on TV and let's say they have just won $1 million. And they often, it's like, what is their emotional response? Like sometimes I would see that and I would just think about what is their emotional response. And sometimes it really is like, oh my God, I won $1 million. It's incredible. It's crazy. It's such a, you know, thing to happen. But like energetically speaking, unbelievable things, like things that you don't believe yourself can't really happen because you're vibrationally apart from them, if that makes sense. And when people act like this on TV, you just got to think, well, they are on TV. They kind of need to put on a show for entertainment purposes. Because, most people will think that, yeah, this is a crazy thing that has happened to you now. But, like, I'm pretty sure if I had that person next to me, that winner of the $1 million, and I asked them, like, what is your actual emotional state? It probably isn't actually such a high intensity feeling. Like, yes, they are still happy, and yes, you're still joyful and celebrating it and everything, and you're excited. Of course you are. But it most likely doesn't actually feel like a miracle. But, you're on TV, so you kind of have to amp it up for the cameras. You have to amp it up for the ratings and the audience and all that. And, for me, as somebody who practices this this law of attraction crap, I would love to see somebody on TV finally being like, can you imagine that? Like, somebody has just won $1 million and they're just like getting interviewed, and their response is just like, oh yeah, I was just emotionally, kind of getting myself ready for this because I really wanted it, and I found a way to believe in this thing, and now it's happened, and yeah, I feel joyful about it. Yeah, like, I'm celebrating it. Yeah, this is great. But, like, I could kind of already feel this coming, and now it is here. And, like, can you imagine that? Can you imagine an interview like that? People would be like, what the fuck? It would be so funny. But I think, energetically speaking, it would be more accurate to how this person is feeling. And I don't really like those big reactions, because it's just teaching people that when you get what you want, this is how you're gonna feel. So then you expect that. But in my experience, it's not really true. It's not really how you feel. You just, when it comes in, you feel normal. It feels exactly like, yeah, this is the kind of thing that would happen to me, considering the kind of person I am, considering the kind of experiences that I've had, considering my emotional state, especially if I have consciously been working on this. It makes sense that this would happen to me. Like, this is where you want to get to emotionally. This is like every manifestation that I have ever wanted, that I have ever worked on consciously. This is what has happened. I have gone emotionally from feeling like this is insane and crazy if this would happen to me, to feeling like, yeah, I am that person that these things happen to. That's me. That's Kelly. These things happen to Kelly. These things happen to this Kelly that I am now. It makes sense, considering the life that I'm living, considering who I am, considering what I'm thinking about, considering what I'm talking about, considering how I'm feeling. Most of all, I feel that I am this person that these things happen to, and therefore these things happen to me. Whatever it is that I want to happen to me, Like, it's always been that way, no matter what the manifestation is that I want. And if you've been watching my videos, then like, what I talked about, that manifestation with that actress, right? That's exactly what I was doing emotionally. At first, when I had that desire, I just felt like, this is insane. This is crazy. I don't know how I'm ever going to get there where I want to get to. I don't know how I'm ever going to meet this person, because they seem like they are in such a different world than I am. But then I took the emotional journey, and I worked with my limiting beliefs about that desire. And eventually I started to feel more like, you know what, this is not that crazy. It's not that big of a deal. Considering what I want and what experiences I want to have and the questions that I want answered, And the fact that this person probably can answer these questions, it's not that crazy that I would meet up with exactly this person. It's not that crazy that this person would be in my existence and I would be in theirs. It's not that crazy. It's not that incomprehensible. I got to that kind of place emotionally, and then I just maintained it, and I just kept thinking these things, these thoughts, that it's not that crazy after all. And then it happened. And I feel that everything is that way, especially if it's something that you really want. Because there's things that we manifest all the time that we don't even think about. People, circumstances, things, they happen. We don't think about them, and when they happen, it just feels normal. But if it's something that you really want, and you're like consciously thinking about it a lot, then I think it's a really good idea to do some kind of emotional work on yourself so you stop feeling so much like this is insane. Because if you are feeling that this is insane, number one, it can't happen. And number two, you just feel terrible because feels terrible to have a dream and think that you can't have it. So if you're a person that wants to feel good, that wants to feel better, that wants to feel relief from whatever you are feeling, then you have to line up with it. You've got no choice. You have to line up with it. You have to start finding reasons for why this thing could happen. Why you are the person that these things happen to. And then it can start coming to you. Eventually, I promise, if you actually do the emotional work and you don't bullshit and you can't just say to yourself, I am the person that these things come to. Because if you don't have evidence in your lived life experience that yes, this is in fact true, your brain will know. It will go, no, you're not. Things like this have never happened to you. This is what it will tell you. It will show you all the evidence that you've got in your actual life that these things don't happen to you, especially if you've never done this before. So you can't bullshit. You have to start with something that you actually believe. I can't tell you what it is, but you can, check out my video on limiting beliefs, working on limiting beliefs, and then I hope that you will get more of an idea. But it's just you have to make the emotional journey from feeling that this is insane to feeling like, yeah, these things happen to me. Yeah, it could happen to me. Considering who I am and what I want and what this experience, whatever it is, could offer to me, the questions that this experience could answer for me, yeah, makes sense that it would happen to me. That's where you need to get to. And then this thing happens. But it's not an overnight change. You really need to train yourself into it. And you're gonna have moments where you won't be there. You won't be feeling like this. And then my recommendation is just try not to get mad at yourself for not feeling that it's normal. For not feeling the normalcy of your desire. Because then you're just going to get into a stuck place again emotionally. You're just going to get mad at yourself and then nothing moves anyway. Like it's okay. It's a journey. Manifesting that actress, it did not happen overnight for me. It took time for me to emotionally get to that place. But eventually I did. And then it all happened. And then I could enjoy it with action and everything. So this is the feeling of the desire fulfilled. Needs to feel normal. Needs to feel like this is the next normal thing that would happen in my experience. And if it's a specific person, like a lot of people want this, I know what that's like. If it's a specific person, like think about the people that are already in your life right now. Like think about a friend or something. When that friend contacts you for any reason, how do you feel? You probably just feel, you feel happy to hear from your friend, but it's not like, oh my God, this person is contacting me. It doesn't feel like that, does it? It's like, it's just your friend. It's just normal. Like, of course they would be contacting you. You just feel normal about it. And this is where you need to get to when you think about this specific person, when you think about talking to them or whatever experience you want to have with them. It needs to feel normal because they can't come otherwise because you're not a match. It needs to feel like this is a normal thing that I and this person would be having this conversation. It's a normal thing that they would be interested in what I have to say or whatever. It's a normal thing that they would be contacting me. It's something you need to get there. You need to feel like that inside. That's the emotional journey. At least this is how it has been for me. When I got there and I maintained that feeling that, it's not really that big of a deal if I talk to this person. If that happens, it's not really that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. If you can get there emotionally and start feeling that way, then it will happen. At some point, it will happen. And you have to go a little while with no evidence of anything happening. But at some point, my experience has shown me that, yeah, it will happen. If you can just maintain that feeling of normalcy. It's normal. I talk to people like this all the time. It's not a big deal. It's easier if this sort of thing has happened to you before. Then it's easier because you can think about other experiences that you've had in the past that are kind of sort of like that. So, yeah, you are that person that these things happen to. It's easier in that case, but the first time is always hard because you just don't have evidence. You don't have physical manifested evidence that these things happen to you, and I know that's hard, but you can get there. Emotionally, you can make it, that journey. So remember, when your desire comes in, it's gonna feel normal in some kind of way. It's gonna feel just like another day, and that doesn't mean that you won't be happy about it. That doesn't mean you won't be excited about it. Yes, you will be. And you can even, when that happens, you can amp that up in your mind. You can think about the emotional journey. You can think about the things that you have been doing consciously, especially if you are doing this consciously. You can think about these things and you can kind of amp up the excitedness. You're like, oh yeah, I did it, Oh yeah, I really am that powerful. Oh yeah, I am a powerful manifestor, whatever people like to say, Yeah, amp that up for yourself. Yeah, you really are that powerful. Yeah, you really did that. Yeah, your mind really is extremely powerful. Congratulations. But you are supposed to get your dreams. You're supposed to get your dreams. The only reason we're not getting them is because other people, this whole society has trained us into believing that we can't. Again, for no good reason. And you can start believing, you can start believing. That's what I was going to say, apparently. You can start believing. And yes, you can. And you can start showing yourself that, yeah, you can get these things. There's nobody in the way of keeping you from these things. It's only you. It's only your own split energy. It's the, I want this but. If you started doing more, I want this, and here's a reason why I could maybe have that. And here's another reason I could maybe have that. Eventually, you will make the emotional journey, and it will just feel like a normal thing that you would get that. And then it should come in. The laws of the universe state, with this new emotional state that you have now accomplished, you are now a match to this thing that you want. So it must come to you. It's law. So that's all I have to say about the desire, that the feeling of desire fulfilled. Feels normal. So that's what you need to get to. You need to get closer to normal. So only you know where you are currently with this. But you can get there, I promise. I've done it before. I can do it again. I'm saying that to myself, and I'm saying that to you. Doesn't matter what you want. You can get there, okay? So let's now both go and do the emotional work. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.